Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic, now full-time energy healer, author, and your resident science meets spirit nerd.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch, teacher of the craft, and owner of not one, not two, but 3 metaphysical businesses.
Together we dig into low-effort witchcraft, spirituality, and the science that backs it all up, all with humor, heart, and a sprinkle of chaos.
So whether you're a curious skeptic or a seasoned witch, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic. Howdy doody, friends.
Howdy doody, friends.
Welcome back.
Definitely not anything weird happening on my fingers.
Nothing strange has happened since we saw you last. Everything's been very normal and very professional, and I'm actually offended that you would think otherwise.
Yeah.
So welcome back. Today we're talking about Ostara, the Spring Equinox. I'm excited about this one. Does this mean we're halfway through now? Are we halfway through our series?
Is this 4?
I think this is 4.
We're at the halfway mark of the series.
Us. We're crushing it. We're really powering through these
Powering
Sabbats.
through. And again, because we're doing this bake-off style and we're wearing the same clothes both days, you don't know what day it is, and neither do we.
We could have gone all out of whack, all out of order. You'll never know.
You'll never know.
And isn't that so fun? Some things are just for us, you know?
Some things are just for us. Mm-hmm.
So
my nails glued back on, by the way. So
thank goodness.
we should be good to rock.
Really worried. I was sitting here trembling in fear.
A little delicate, but
we'll be very gentle.
Very gentle. To my paws.
Keep your list.
Let's do a nail check. You haven't showed your nails.
Yep, on this audio medium. Let's really ostracize those who are not watching the video podcast. Oh, are you driving? That sucks. Look at our nails. We look so good. Look at this beauty filter that this studio has put on this camera of me.
That's not a beauty filter, girl. That's your skin.
Well, you know, you said it, not me. Okay.
Ostara.
I've never heard it Ostara, but
Ostara. That's how I'm gonna say it.
Whatever floats your boat, honey buns. So before we dive into Ostara, we are gonna give a magic moment from our Patreon. Yay! If you have missed the last 3 episodes, to avoid us having to bullshit 8 magic moments in a 24-hour span, we're calling in reinforcements. And this week's magic moment is from Christina. My magic moment is that after losing my grandmother last July, morning glories bloomed in my community garden plot. They're the flower for her birth month, September. And the extra magic, I never planted them. They came back this year too with no help from me, and they're blooming again after growing all summer. I miss her fiercely, and when I want to talk to her, I head to the garden. Her love is too big to be constrained to one earthside reality.
Oh,
I love that. Because did I share my morning glory magic moment on the podcast?
I was just wondering if I shared my morning glory magic moment.
I think we talked about it the other day because my summer solstice morning glories, or my Beltane morning glories.
Yes,
they bloomed recently.
You shared that on the pod, right?
Yes, I did, which that was why I chose this one, is because it felt like confirmation for me too, that those morning glories do really represent something for me with someone that I love. And so I loved that you, Christina, also had that. It made my little heart happy.
And it reminds me of the time I learned that Michael Jackson's Thriller album helps grow plants. So
great.
Did I not tell this story?
If you did, I blocked it out.
Here I am again, taking a sweet moment on the podcast and ruining it with a stupid dumb tale from high school. I went to a boarding school in northern Maine where it was cold and dark 24/7, 365. And I love morning glories. I've always loved morning glories. They're like one of my favorite flowers. And so I wanted to grow a morning glory in my dorm room. So I took an old gallon of milk, cut off the top, filled it with dirt, swaddled it in an old t-shirt like a fucking diaper, and planted morning glory seeds that I bought on eBay because that's all we had at the time. This was like 2007.
You didn't have a Home Depot? A Lowe's, perchance?
In Limestone, Maine, we were lucky we had a farmer's market.
Okay.
Not even farmer's market. It was like an IGA. We didn't even have like a name brand grocery store.
My bad.
Yeah. Okay. I could see Canada from my dorm room.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had to order them on eBay. They came, they arrived. They wouldn't grow. I don't know how to grow shit. So then I took my iPod mini, right? The little square one.
I have heard this story.
And my 97-cent earpods, and I plugged it in, and I played Michael Jackson's Thriller album nonstop, and it bloomed. And I was just like, music. Magic.
It's the answer. Wow, beautiful. I love that you have you, instead of being like, oh, music helps grow plants, you're like, oh, it must be this. I must have stumbled upon, my first instinct must have been the magic piece that makes those plants grow. It has to be only specifically Michael Jackson's Thriller.
It's a fantastic album.
I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, tell me about Ostara.
So, Ostara is a celebration of the spring or the vernal equinox, which is a word that I learned through researching Ostara. I had never
Vernal feels sexy.
Right? It has a little energy to it. The difference between a solstice and an equinox is a solstice is either like the longest or the shortest day of the year.
Yeah.
On an equinox, the day and night is equal.
Equal equal night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're celebrating the balance between day and night, which we'll do again later, but a little bit differently. Yeah. So
it's balance of day and night leaning towards the light.
Yeah. This was one of the holidays that I really like fell down the rabbit hole of like, this is, get it? Haha. This is so deeply, it feels weird to say on a podcast that really has a lot of reverence for witchcraft, but it's like so deeply made up. So Ostara is named for a dawn goddess named Ostare, Eostre. I don't know that I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm doing my best. And the guy who invented the Wheel of the Year, he found this name mentioned by the Venerable Bede, B-E-D-E. Again, these are all words that I've read and not heard pronounced, so I apologize. But he's an Anglo-Saxon monk. And then there's scholarly debate on whether or not she was actually historically worshipped. And so
maybe fake god?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't go. I knew that if I went further down that rabbit hole, again, that I would not get back to like the crux of the issue, which was writing out the outlines for these 8 episodes. So I had to like kind of course correct myself.
Yeah, the history that I read was very much like, it was this god, maybe.
Yeah, it was like not very, it just feels very like wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And so you can call it the spring equinox, you can call it Ostara. It's, just knowing the history I think is important here. But it's another big fertility festival. So lots of symbols like eggs, hairs, flowers, and that kind of goes for most cultures in the springtime.
Yeah, bunnies and rabbits.
Yeah.
Can I share my fact I know about Ostara?
Please.
I learned in my researching that, you know how we dye eggs in Easter? Well, dyeing eggs was a part of Ostara.
Yeah.
And typically they were dyed yellow to represent the returning of the sun.
Wow.
I know. Look at me.
Fun.
I know stuff too.
I'm here too. But yeah, that really the main difference in modern paganism, we've carried like mostly all of that imagery through into Ostara. But the name is this new thing that Gerald Gardner kind of brought in. I don't know actually specifically that it was him, but modern pagans developed the name and brought it into the Wheel of the Year. So that gives me some weird feelings about it. I don't really know why it had to have a name and why we went with that, but like, I don't know. I find it interesting. I thought it was worth noting.
I think that bunnies and eggs aside, Ostara might be like one of my favorites.
Really? Why?
Well, I don't like Ostara. I don't give a shit about, but I love the spring equinox.
Okay.
Love the spring equinox. The energy of the spring equinox. It's like the idea of like planting seeds in fertile soil.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's like the start of my manifestation season.
Totally. It's an excellent time for that.
Yeah,
But before we dive deeper into how we celebrate Ostara, let's give it up for our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by our good friend Chelsea at Conscious Seed Apothecary. Ostara is all about new beginnings, but if your nervous system is still stuck in last season, our friend Chelsea at Conscious Seed has something for that.
Her functional beverages are little cups of calm meets focus. We've been loving the Morphic Matcha and the Kava Chai, 2 dreamy blends that support energy, ease, and your springtime rituals.
Morphic Matcha gives you that centered, non-jittery clarity. It helps me clear my to-do list so well, sometimes I forget I have ADHD.
And Kava Chai, cozy, grounding, and it's a game changer for melting tension out of your body. I use it all the time for headaches, neck aches, period cramps. And the best part, it's caffeine free, so you can drink it before bed.
Usually, our code Demystify Magic gets you 10% off, but for the month of November, our listeners get 15% off the entire site when you use our code.
So why not make your little treat magic beverage a little spell for your nervous system too?
You can head to consciousseedapotheca.com or click the link in the show notes and make sure you use our code Demystify Magic at checkout.
Thank you, Conscious Seed Apothecary, for sponsoring this episode.
As I was saying before I was interrupted, spring equinox, fertile soil. I love to look at like how each of these like equinoxes and solstice like tie into the practice of creation, the practice of creating your life, right? You know, barren womb down here, not going to create a life, but going to create my life. It's like if we think of spring as like planting seeds, summer is like maturation. Fall is the harvest, so gratitude and letting go of, you know, pruning essentially. And then winter is that conservation of energy so that your soil is fertile for that spring equinox. And so for me, I really see it as like this culmination of effort that was put in through that, the effort of rest, really, which is what winter is asking of it. It's like, have I rested enough to have enough energy to really plant the seeds of the life that I want to create in spring? And I always think of that in winter when I feel like I'm not doing enough. I got to do more. I always think of, no, I have to do less so that my soil is more fertile. My mind, my body, my spirit, my connection to self is as fertile as possible so that when the spring equinox hits, I can really like get clear on what I'm creating this year.
Yeah, totally. It's like how we talk about the Aries season as the new year in like astrologically speaking.
Yeah. This is my new year.
Yeah, it's the spring equinox. And that is what I love about this time is that even though I know as Ostara comes that we are entering that really like hot, miserable season, Ostara, it's still a little bit cooler. We're like transitioning out. It's like the perfect, really like our spring weather is kind of like your summer weather.
Yeah.
And so it's the perfect time to like go to the beach, to be social, to be around other people. And it really is the perfect time for manifestation because that kind of like joy permeates. But that makes this a really great time for things like vision boarding. That's what I'll do. This is, you know, if I will usually, we've talked about the bingo card.
Yeah, this is when I make my bingo card.
I will usually start it in January, but I don't give myself the deadline to finish until the spring equinox.
Yeah.
The spring equinox is when I go through and I do my inventory of like, do I really want some of the things that I put on this bingo card? Or is it just a stereotypical goal that I've put forward that feels like it's what I should have because it's January 1st and there's all this marketing about what we should be doing, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. What should my goals really be? By the time spring equinox comes around, I've really given myself time to integrate into the new year. Yeah. And what I want and what I'm doing, it becomes easier to see clearly.
Yeah, for me, the spring equinox is the most clear shift of energy in the year. Like, and maybe it's because it's so dark in February and it starts to get light again. And so it's like I said, there are some years that I did not see the sun for multiple weeks at a time, many days out of the week because I was like working. I'd go to work, no sun. I'd come home, no sun. That for me, it always feels like a palpable shift of like motivation. Like what people think January should feel like is what spring equinox feels like to me, but it's sustained. The thing I've always noticed and always thought about January is when we treat January 1 like it's the new year and I'm going to start fresh on January 1. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start doing this and blah, 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 like whatever the case may be. Almost everyone falls off by President's Day, like mid-February, right? Like if you last that long. And then everyone feels bad about themselves. And they're like, I'll try again next year. I've failed. But what I found is whenever I start something new around spring equinox, it's something I actually want to do. Like you said, it's not like fueled by all the marketing money that's out there about like new me, new year. And I actually sustain it through the summer because again, I've rested, right? Like I've fermented the sourdough starter of my motivation and now I'm ready to cook.
Hell yeah, brother. That was an excellent metaphor. Now it like wiped my slate clean.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Low effort rituals for Ostara. you talked about it a little bit, but dyeing eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So much of Easter is pagan.
Yeah.
It's
Tell me.
just spring equinox, but different. Like all of the egg imagery, all of the Easter bunny.
Yeah.
Also, Easter. We've talked about this before in our spring equinox episode, but the reason that Easter is a different day every year is because it's the Sunday after the full moon.
Yeah,
Or
which
it's
is
like
wild.
the second Sunday after. It's around
tied
the full
to the full moon. Yeah,
it's tied to the full moon. It changes
so witchy
every year. It's deeply inherently witchy.
Mm-hmm.
The eggs, the bunnies,
Yeah,
all of those things. It's all very fertility centered, which is Ostara. So painting those eggs, doing it with intention, using color magic, drawing symbols and sigils on them.
Taking your eggs, dyeing them, eating them, and then making eggshell powder for protection.
That, yes. Snaps for that, snaps for that, snaps for that. Something else you can do is sunrise meditations to honor that like equal balance of day and night. You could also do sunset, but honoring that period of transition. Planting ritual seeds. So like the morning glories that I did for Beltane. That's another thing. You can do that with Ostara. Celebrate growth, the birthing of new things. With your Ostara altar, you can really prioritize balance, having one black candle, one white candle, honoring the equal day and night.
Yep.
Or spring cleaning, continuing that spring cleaning energy. The thing, like what I find to be so true for me, especially when I'm manifesting and creating, is I have to do a lot of pushing out to welcome in. I need to make a lot of space because I physically and energetically can bring in a lot of clutter. I like stuff.
I like stuff.
I hold on to stuff. I hold on to feelings. I hold on to thoughts.
I hold on to tension.
Oh, do I hold on to tension? My chiropractor will tell you all about it. But doing that physical and energetic cleansing to make space for those things that you're manifesting, that is equally as important. And I think that that's like it's a really intrinsic part of the balance that is a part of Ostara as well.
Yeah. And if we think about, like, I've been thinking a lot about how our energy changes when we have like a deep clean, deep declutter, or just regular cleaning in general, right? Like through the process of writing Mundane Magic, available at a bookstore near you, February 17th, 2026. But it really does, like, whenever I feel stagnant, unmotivated, like I'm struggling to get through my to-do list, even though I know everything on it is like really easy and I enjoy doing and whatever, like I have no excuse not to do it. I always look around my office and it's like clutter, 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 clutter. So I spend 5 minutes, I clean my space, and then all of a sudden answering that email is easier, right? Or like, the other day I was thinking about, I really want to have a dinner party with some of my friends I haven't seen in a while, but like my place is so dirty, everything's dirty. And then like we cleaned it and I was like, yeah, I think we can invite Lindsay over. Yeah. It just makes everything so much easier. And that's not to say my house is clean 24/7. You all know it's not. But when I make a conscious effort to ritualize like the cleaning, washing my shower curtain on the full moon, for example, then it's like less of a chore. And all of a sudden I have all this energy and motivation to create the things I want, or to create the relationships I want, or to whatever. Like I have that focus and that energy that isn't being taken away by like, I have to do laundry, I have to fold the laundry, right? Because that, I don't know about you, but that takes up so much brain space, just sitting and thinking about like, I have to do that, but I haven't done that, and I'm gonna do that. Like every part of my house, like kitchen, when my kitchen's dirty, it's hard for me to make a meal for myself. My bathroom's dirty, it's hard for me to like relax and unwind at the end of the night. When my bedroom's dirty, it's hard for me to sleep. When my office is dirty, it's hard to focus. And so like that affects your manifestation just as much, if not more, than the vision boarding and the lighting candles, doing spells, making an altar, all of that. Like I almost feel like, this is going to come as no shock, but keeping your home tidy, organized, like, or having some sort of, pattern around when you keep your house clean and your environment in that space, that almost to me brings me closer to my practice than any spell I could do.
Totally, for sure. I think when we talk about mundane versus magic, there is this idea of separation between the two. And it just isn't true. Jinx Monsoon was on a podcast recently, I think, or at least the clips have been circulating recently. This is my public plea, Jinx Monsoon. If you would like to come on this podcast, I would do anything. Absolutely anything. But she was talking about magic and science. And she said, science is magic that we understand, and magic is science that we don't yet understand.
Yeah.
And that is how I feel with mundane and magic. They are a part of one another. We call it magic because that's the word that we have for the things that we can't quite explain. But they are one and the same. And there is magic to mundane, and there is mundane to magic.
Yes.
You know, there are parts of magic that are deeply rooted in mundanity. You know, even the way that the Wheel of the Year is set up, it is set up intrinsically in, like, it's set up in tandem with the mundaneness of the earth.
Yeah.
Like, just the things that the earth does just as a part of its existence.
Yeah, it's just living.
So for colors, for Ostara, any pastels are going to work. Pinks, lavenders, pale greens, yellow. Think about those traditional Easter egg colors. Yes, the color of Molly's hair would be perfect for your Ostara egg.
You heard it here first.
Light blue for clear skies, renewal. And then white to symbolize that balance and purity that comes along, which is interesting. Like, purity comes up a lot in Ostara, which I think is interesting for a fertility day. Because I know, because right now in like a modern, with a modern perspective, purity and fertility are kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Fertility implies sex, which is not pure, quote unquote. But there is a level of purity to Ostara because it's like, you know, you think about those baby chicks that are hatching.
Babies.
It's also, I think it's kitten season around Ostara. Like, there's a lot of birth happening. Yeah. There is a purity in that. And there's nothing impure about being fertile and like sex as a thing.
As Leonard Cohen said, hallelujah, hallelujah.
I am afraid we're going to get sued because we don't have the rights.
It's public domain.
Is it public domain at this point? And you know what? It's
just in case we get sued.
I'm sorry,
if you want to
Leonard.
Support this podcast, join our Patreon.
Yeah.
We have all the notes from these episodes in the clubhouse, as well as some medium effort rituals for you, as well as some really good times in our group chat. So
yeah, we have a grand old time. We sit and hee hee ha ha with all of you. We have a Magic Moments chat. We have a Critter Coven chat. We have a Yap Sesh chat, which is just for literally anything that you would like to talk about.
And we have a bonus podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
We haven't talked about that in any of these mentions. We do have a whole second podcast.
A Court of Molly and Madison. So if you like the part where we go off topic and we talk about how hallelujah is just a code word for orgasm, you're going to love Akamom.
It's a good time if you like a tangent. We love it.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the herbs?
I would love to give the herbs. We got dandelion, one of my favorite spring herbs, just because one thing about me, I hate a green lawn.
Yeah, me too.
I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, but if I could and I wasn't so afraid of bugs that they keep me up at night, I would have just a wildflower lawn.
Yeah.
I live in a cul-de-sac now with an HOA. HOA does not give a shit about our lawns, by the way. It's like a cool HOA.
I'm not a regular HOA. I'm a cool HOA.
Yeah, everybody talks trash about HOAs, but like mine's cool. Like they don't give a shit. It's really just like so that we get our road plowed. Because like in Maine,
I know.
We need to plow snow off the roads.
I lived in places that require plowing.
But in some of the smaller towns, the town doesn't pay for private roads to be plowed. So that's why that's why we have an HOA, because we all have to pay for our road to get plowed. So that's like the purpose of the HOA.
Really?
It's not to like there's no rules around.
But they just like have to have some sort of system.
Yeah, because otherwise like the road would not get plowed, or like someone would just be like handling $10,000 a year to like.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, you heard it here first. I'm not saying I'm inherently a fan of HOAs. Don't take this out of context. Don't. But mine's a cool HOA. Anyways, Everyone has a green ass lawn, and so my husband is like obsessed with having a green ass lawn, and I'm just like, what if I just threw some mint seeds and blew the dandelions and wildflowers?
Yeah, just like get some native seeds and just, let Earth just do what it does.
Right. So I've been slowly working on that. Every time I see a dandelion that's poofed, I pick it and I just blow the seeds everywhere. And I'm slowly hoping they take over. But unfortunately, it is a new development, new-ish. So there's like a one dandelion last year. So anyways, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. But dandelions are great for spring equinox. They're usually like, when we talk about signs of spring, I think at least where I am, dandelion is one of them. Because it's usually like they start to pop up before mowing season starts. Because we don't mow our lawns year round because they're dormant for a long time. Even after the snow melts, they stay dormant. And then the dandelions pop up, and then they're usually up and yellow before the first mow happens. So it's like, that's for me, like the sign of the season.
Yeah. So next on our herb list is violets. I love these because they're really great for healing. So if you're doing, I think spring is just a really great time for any kind of like healing work, just because there is that like brightness that I think that you need to rely on when you're doing deep healing work.
And there's like a new growth era. Like I always think of it as like the spring cleanup we do, at least in Maine, is like once all the snow melts, then you go through and you like clean up all the leaves and you clean up all the like dead plants and whatever. And then you can, start to grow fresh.
Yeah, totally. And they're also really great for protection. So they can give you that element of like protecting your heart while you heal it as well, which I think is really beautiful.
I love that. That's really cute. Another one on our list is mint, which is one of my favorite herbs to work with. It's great for abundance, fresh starts, vitality. I also love to use it for clarity. And like I said, like spring is my time. Like spring is my vision board manifestation, like get clear on my goals time. And so having that clarity and getting really clear about like, okay, what do I want this life to look like? Like, what do I want in the next 3 months to grow into my life? I think clarity is so important. So I will often like brew a cup of mint tea while I'm making my bingo board or vision board or whatever, like writing my goals down, writing out my plan for the year, to kind of bring that in or infuse my space with that.
Yeah, totally. And then another one we have is lemon balm, which I think is really great in tandem with the mint too, because it can bring a sense of joy as well as that renewal energy.
A lot of ease too.
Yeah. I thought for a second, you were saying like the letter E, and I was like, there's only one. Like, what do you mean a lot of E's? I like almost went and scrolled back up to be like, what do you like? There's a lot of E's in these words. Like, what do you mean by that? And what's the significance there? I was really confused.
Fun fact about the letter E.
Tell me.
It is the most used letter in the English alphabet.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that tracks. It would make sense. It would be a vowel.
Really common vowel. Yeah, used at the end of a lot of words.
Thank you.
Used in doubles.
We learned so much on the Demystify Magic
One thing
podcast.
about this series, you will learn one weird fact that has nothing to do with magic in every one of these series episodes.
And I won't apologize.
I won't, no.
Last on our herb list is not really an herb, but these, like the flowers that you see so much in like March, April, those tulips and lilies.
Oh my God, yes, and dandelions. Dandelions for me are so deeply connected to like the blooming of my intuition. Did I ever tell you this story?
Maybe. Start.
Maybe. I had a healing session many years ago where she was working on my solar plexus, and I was going through a lot of like doubt in like my intuitive abilities. Like this was very early in my like Reiki journey. And I remember as the energy was clearing, seeing literally like a dandelion bloom out of my solar plexus.
Yes, I do remember that.
And then as I drove home, all of a sudden I realized like for the first time, oh my God, the dandelions are blooming. And then it was like I got married and I was given dandelions, and like, like they just kept showing up in my life every time like I started to doubt my intuition. Like I would find dandelions, like they would find me rather. And so they become like a very big part of my practice of just like whenever I experience doubt, I go buy myself a bouquet of dandelions. Cause when you buy them at Trader Joe's, at least they come in the bud still.
Yeah.
And then you place them in water and they slowly bloom. So I will put them on my altar when I'm like starting, you know, that spring equinox kind of ritual. Write my goals, stick them underneath the vase, and then slowly physically watch them bloom into fruition and like infuse my space with that while I'm building that like trust.
That is such an amazing practice, especially for people who do not have places where they can grow seeds.
Yeah.
If you love the way that we talk about planting seeds as a tool for manifestation and a part of our magical practice, doing that with flowers, buying flowers that are just like a little bit, I don't know, like it's not, the word isn't ripe,
early,
but like underripe is the best way that I can describe it. And tending to those and watching them open and bloom is such an amazing way to bring that renewal energy, that growth energy without the dirt.
And it doesn't have to be flowers.
Yeah.
Kitchen scraps.
I was just about to say, I was going to say something else.
What were we going to say?
I was going to say buying underripe fruit.
Okay, I had that thought too, but then I went to kitchen scraps.
Okay.
I love that.
Great. Tell me about kitchen scraps. Love that. Great job.
Love
Good
that.
answer.
Love that.
Good answer. Good answer. Woo! Good job.
Kitchen scraps. Okay, so you know how scallions, some lettuces, celery.
Yes. They'll
regrow if you put them in water, but you have to tend to them. You can't just like leave them in the same pot of water. They'll get slimy and gross. So like every day you have to change the water out, and then you can grow them, and then you can use them in a meal to celebrate all the work that you have done so far in your manifestation practice.
Yes. Good answer.
We want to hear your answer down in the comments.
Yeah, hit me with it. And then last on our list, we have crystals for Ostara. We've got rose quartz for love and gentle growth, something to kind of infuse that self-love energy. Aquamarine for clarity and to get you like in flow. Aquamarine to me, like, I mean, obviously, I guess it's like it's not wild of me to be like, I really associate that with the water, but she's laughing so hard at me. And
I'm not laughing. It's also the birthstone of March.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did because I was born March 16th. Everybody mark your calendars.
Send her a card. But that like water energy that's so a part of it can kind of keep you in flow and help you access that intuition.
Yeah, totally. And also like speak your truth.
Yes.
Like I often think of aquamarine as like speak up, like say it. And often we think of like, oh, speak my truth to others or post about it or whatever. But I think of it more as like to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be truthful to yourself and set boundaries with yourself before you can even do that outside of you.
Yes, totally. And then on the list, we've got green aventurine for that fertility and prosperity.
Yeah. Luck,
another big one. And
heart
then,
healing.
Yes, heart healing.
I love green aventurine. It's so underrated.
I agree. I really do agree. And then last on our list, we've got citrine for joy. And again, that like solar power, that solar energy.
That's a daffodil. That's citrine and daffodil, one and the same for me.
Agreed.
Energetically.
Yeah, totally. All right.
Did we do it? I think we did it.
I think we did it.
Are we halfway through this series?
Oh my God, look at us. Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh my God. If you are enjoying the video series and you would like to support us continuing it, please remember that we live on opposite sides of the country. So joining our Patreon is really the biggest help to us creating higher quality content like this. Like we love the podcast. We will always make the podcast. But this is a very special series that we would not be able to continue if it weren't for your support. So we love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for laughing along with us. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. All our links from spells to ceremonies to ways to support us are waiting in the show notes.
We'd love to hear your magic moment of the week. Share it in a review, tag us on socials, or bring it to our Patreon clubhouse at demystifymagic.com.
And remember, you are the magic.
Okay, love you.
Bye.